Almost on a daily basis, I receive fan mail from all around the world from people asking to bring back Wrestling Reflections, which for many of you who don't know, I know a lot of you do. It was a very popular show. It was my first web show that I had ever done on YouTube. And, you know, back in 2013, I was voted one of the most up-and-coming YouTubers in professional wrestling. But I digress because due to copyright infringement and also lawsuits, I had to pull the plug. And now that I'm here trying to revamp my channel, giving you quality content, such as Snapchat, Corbin Center, etc., I feel like it's kind of time to bring back that style of Wrestling Reflections, but instead, why not reflect back on my own career? 2018 was a hell of a year. And I would like to start by reviewing the month of January here. Now, January, as many of you know, you saw the formation of what has become one of the most dominant tag teams in the Minnesota wrestling scene, Lorben Cometh. Now, I know for a fact that this wasn't supposed to be a long-term thing, but because of how good Lore and myself have been and how well we meshed, well, we've become a staple in this area, and it's something fresh, it's something new. And we picked up our first victory at Showtime Wrestling back in January. And then the next day, I had a very anticipated match, one that was a year in the making, going against my former North Star Express tag partner, Ryan Cruz. Now, another thing I get a lot of mail on is, why did you break up the North Star Express? Why did you turn on Ryan Cruz? And I'll tell you what, ever since I've done this, my stock has gone up. As a singles competitor, I have noticed more opportunities. I have received better value. I've won more championships, and what can I say? Sometimes you have to be the bad guy and you have to make the tough choices. And you have to cut the dead weight. Now, again, I know what you're going to say, but Darin, Ryan Cruz beat you. And he walked out as the sole holder of the tag team championships, and that's okay. Because I looked at those tag titles as an albatross around my neck. And so I'm glad, you know, it's one of the best matches in WrestlePalooza history, and I'm glad that I could put it behind me. And that was the last time that you'll ever see me wrestle Ryan Cruz ever. Because I was off to bigger and better things. And all I got to do is fast forward 1 week. Freelance Wrestling 2017, I was on a roll. I pinned former champions. I was undefeated for most of the year, not pinned in singles competition, and finally, I was supposed to get my shot at then champion, Sugar Dunkerton. And then what happens? Sugar Dunkerton doesn't show up. He's not there. Due to weather, due to impact, due to explode, whatever it was, he was not there. The champion didn't show up. So I'm left without an opponent. Now, you will notice that this has been a pattern at Freelance numerous times where I have somebody fill in for what was supposed to be an advertised match. But I digress. We'll get there. So I thought that if people are going to run from me, if the champions are even going to avoid me, I might as well take my opportunity to use my time to make people remember me. Because I wanted my championship match. I wanted that championship more than anything. That was a moment of redemption for me in Chicago. And so what did I do? I grabbed the microphone. And yeah, I made no qualms about it. I sat cross-legged in the ring, just like a fellow Chicagoan, CM Punk. And while my promo was very reminiscent of CM Punk's, just replacing a couple words here and there, I will tell you this. Everything that I said, I was very genuinely heartfelt on it. Because I wasn't there to BS anybody. I wasn't there to try and convince anybody anything otherwise than that I should be champion and I could be the top guy in a promotion. I was told by other promoters, especially one in that area, that I was not valuable. And I mentioned that. And I was going to show that I had value. So that day started when I was doing my Corbin truth bombs. And yes, I know, very familiar. I get it. I understand what I'm doing. I'm not stupid in this case. I get it. But with that said, that made people want to listen to what I had to say, which is the one thing that I wanted to do, and it was the one thing he wanted to do, and I'm so glad I did it because it made people take notice. And it made people anticipate, not just a match, not just a championship match, but they were waiting for the moment that Sugar Dunkerton would return to Freelance so that I would have my moment, because you didn't know what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to win. I knew the moment that I got him in the ring, I would always win. It just came a couple months later. Now, I kept very busy through the end of the month. I wrestled in West Coast Wrestling Connection. I had a lot of success too. Very busy out there. I came back to Minnesota, did a couple local shows for AWF, and then also in primetime for their final big event in Bloomington. And now, many of you know, I used to be looked at, and this is true. I was looked at in primetime. Before, I couldn't even get a look because I was just an average-looking white guy. I don't know if you know this, but this stands out quite a bit. And also, when you put me in the ring, if you think I'm just like everybody else, you are wrong. And I proved it. But it took, and I want to throw it out there to him, it took the help of Arya Daivari to get my foot in the door. And ever since then, and kudos to the credit, they wanted me to be there for all those shows, and I had a good run at primetime. So I was disappointed. I know this would be my last run, but I was the champion. I was the Uptown champion. I had held that championship on 3 occasions. I had a feud with W.R.E.S.T.L.I.N.G that had spanned pretty much through 2 years of that company, and then finally it came to the head. And I took out W.R.E.S.T.L.I.N.G before the match even started. A lot of people didn't like that. But you know what? A lot of primetime fans didn't like what I did. And I don't really care. They're all stupid. So it was fine. It was all good. So I ended up not losing my championship because I know the rules. I ended up taking out everybody. Laid out everybody. I was the last man standing. And then Commissioner Lenny Lane, WCW's Lenny Lane, stripped me of the championship and had me removed from the building. Now, I wish I could say, I'm actually more upset that he took the championship away from me. It was a former WCW replica championship. I've only held that belt on 6 occasions. I wish I had it more, but whatever, I digress. Kicking me out of the building, I wanted to sell merchandise because people knew I was a champion. And I didn't get that opportunity, so I found a way to come back. Now, there has been a lot of speculation on whether or not I played different roles in the company. And yes, you are right. I was originally Big Seth. That's how it was. I was just, I want to get that clear out there. A lot of people thought I was Ricky Love, but that's just because we have red hair and for some reason you people can't tell us apart. So, I did find an extra Doug costume, and Doug is such a popular star there that I decided to don the Doug costume. I slid back into the building. No one even checked me. And I wrestled in a tag match. I thought I was going to get the tag team championships, and I thought I was going to get those back. But W.R.E.S.T.L.I.N.G again came out and unmasked me. And while I was supposed to be suspended and supposed to be taken out of the building, everybody laughed at my unmasking. So, again, didn't go the way I wanted it. I was hoping to end the month on a high note. But, of course, we can't always have that. And I think the tag team championships went to the fans, which is crazy. Or maybe it was the main championship, because, that's I think 300 people that were supposed to hold that championship all at once. And that's some kind of weird Freebird rules, so I have no idea how that worked. So over the course of January, I had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and I had a lot of high-profile events happen to me. So I look forward to rolling into February, so stay tuned, because pretty soon you will see my Wrestling Reflections on February 2018, and we're going to continue to keep this rolling and see how I played my momentum going through the year. Thank you.